is going to be a briefing to Dr. Ajay's speech. On behalf of the Nubian Committee, I welcome you all in this cultural day. The planning of Nubian Cultural Days started 15 years ago since the establishment of the Nubian Committee in the United Kingdom, in which we intended to reflect on the civilizational face of Nubia. We also stand for the Nubian affairs and matters in our homeland. The Nubian civilization transcends its local barriers to become a part of the universal human heritage. Today coincides with the 51st anniversary for the compulsive exodus which was imposed upon Nubians following the construction of the High Dam in the year 1964. Today's theme is Together we can safeguard our beautiful Nubian heritage, culture and language. We have a number of activities combined by lectures inspired by our great history. We are honored to have lecturers who are going to enlighten us using a historical and scientific solid facts about the great Nubian civilization, led by the one and only Professor Herman Bell, a scientist and expert who is specialized in the ancient and modern Nubian language. Also, we have other lecturers and activities who are keen to preserve the Nubian heritage. Some of today's headlines are the construction of dams and its threat to our natural resources and agriculture, the frequent burning of palm trees, the random mining and environmental pollution, theft of ancient Nubian monuments and antiquities, and we hope you all have a good time.
أشكركم جدا جدا. Oh, you're going to introduce me.
Okay. السلام عليكم، كل عام وأنتم بخير، كل عام والنوبة بخير، محمية من إغراق آثارها، محمية من حرائق النخيل، محمية من اندثار اللغة النوبية، الإعجاز الكبير، اللغة المكتوبة والمقروءة منذ آلاف السنين. الآن نقدم لكم بروفيسور هيرمان بيل، عالم اللغة النوبية قديما وحديثا. Now we will present to you Professor Herman Bell.
And I want to say, I heard myself described as the one and only Herman Bell. After this, you will be very happy that there is only one Herman Bell and not anybody else. Okay, I'll start out first of all by saying Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. And I want to say Maskagro, Ursikar Fidjuro, and Korega Ninala. However, I would like to say, I can't help but think that during this calling, there are some people who are grieving and some people that are sad. We've had very, very bad news from Makkah al-Mukarramah, as you know, and we want to think about the families, the people who have been suffering there. As we are happy here to be together, there are other people who are sad. And so we think of that. This is the way life is, of course. And I think about it especially because about, a number of years ago, I can't think of how many years, it must be at least about 12 or 13 years ago, I was in a plane flying over Makkah al-Mukarramah in the middle of the Hajj. How it happened, I don't know. It just happened, I booked my passage. And that happened to be in a year when there was also another very serious stampede, difficulty, people, too many people trying to push through. So I'm especially thinking of that as we start our program. I also want you to know that I come here with royal support. Not from Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, but from my king, Uruani. Uruani is sitting next to me, and you'll be hearing him next. Always when I telephone Dr. Abdulhalim Sabah, I begin by saying, "Wo Uruani," and he replies very nicely and very graciously to me. I believe through his mother he is a descendant of Ibn Uru, who, as you know, was displaced unfortunately in the Turkiye in 1821. So there is some historical, he belongs to the group of people who claim this historical, a very interesting one. Now, being an Uru, he has the right, can you hear me? Being an Uru, he has the right to grant me a position. And my position, I thought, was going to be very grand. As I was walking the Rijlin to come here to this meeting, I came along a street called Sirdar Street. Sirdar. This was Kuchina. Maybe he will make me Sirdar. So when I asked him what my position was, yes, it had the word Sir in it. I was Jaysir. But I am a Jaysir. I am his Jaysir. But as you know, a Jaysir is more like a Murasla. So Murasla, as you know, I hope there's no one who doesn't know Arabic, but as somebody who just takes messages, a message. So I became a messenger boy. My role is a messenger boy, and I receive orders from Uruani, my king. Now sometimes I make jokes, sometimes I make bad jokes. And so instead of saying, "Wo Uruani," I say, "Wo Ulumani." Now, ulum, as you know, how many of you know what a ulum is? Lots and lots, but some people don't. The ulum comes through the water as a big mouth, and as you know, I think sometimes you call him Zumzah. But then I say to him, "Wo Ula." Now there is a good reason to say "Wo Ulumani." As you know, the Nubians are a people of the river. And the river is something we will come back to again and again with great love, because we are losing the world is losing, we are losing our river. Bit by bit by bit, we are losing our river, and we sad about this. When my king was a small boy, he would go to the river. He would see a crocodile. But he knew what to say. He would say, "Ani, Ani." And you know what that means. Oh, my mother's brother. Oh, my mother's brother. And the ulum, the crocodile, would never bite him. And this is what all Nubian children say. I don't know whether it's true, I hope it is. He says, no Nubian child has ever suffered from a crocodile. But I'm not going to tell you that as a fact, it's too dangerous. And I don't want anyone here to test it. And say, well, but I do think that whenever you go into the river and swim, as I hope you will, because it's a lovely river, and I like swimming in it. He likes swimming in it. His father, and believe me, even his mother loved swimming in the river, I believe, in the old days. And so the river was a very big part of their life, and they all could say "Ani, Ani" whenever they saw the crocodile. If you go through and look at the houses in old Nubia. The houses in old Nubia have crocodiles very often on them. And so it is something of which people are very conscious of this. Now, the thing that I was actually من المهاجرين. I was مع المهاجرين في القطر. In سنة 1964 I went to Khashim al-Girba with the people from Argin. My wife with me. We went and we lost our home as well because we lived in a big fire engine, which we made as a beautiful house, and the fire engine got flooded, and it's now under the Nile in Wadi Halfa. So I hope that sometime I will be given a small house in Wadi Halfa to make up for the fire engine that my wife and I we lost. Up until now, I have not heard any messages to that effect. What I'm going to talk about today is something very serious. Are we doing enough to remember our river? This is a river that belongs to the world. And for thousands of years, you were the people who guarded this river and kept this river. Now, because of powerful forces, people are removing the river from us, bit by bit, through dams. And the problem with the dam is, it takes money away from the people of the river, people who live alongside the river, and puts it in the hands of other people that you must trust to do good things for the people. You must trust them. And it's not quite the same as controlling something yourself. When you know your own needs, you know the needs of your family, you can take care of yourself. So I do hope that parts of the dam will survive. I was very happy when I went back 3 years ago and saw that Saeed Markasha was still there. Not his actual gubba, but I remember Saeed Markasha في الأرض الحجر في زيارته نذبح بقر. I'm not sure whether we have baqar today, or to slaughter for the feast. But there are these traditions that are closely associated with the river, and this is what that I remember. Now, I think we should take the poetry of great men such as Muhammad Wardi. 6 years ago, I was privileged to be on the same stage with Muhammad Wardi, and he was singing beautifully. His great concert. It was put on by Dow. And I feel that one of the great things that he said, he composed, was something a few of you have this. I've passed it around the room, but I will let anybody have it later. One of his own memories, after he had been for a long time in California, he wanted to go back to the Sudan, he wanted to see the river again. And he remembered a person who taught him how to play the kisir, the rabab. And that person was Ali Salim. And you probably know that poem that he wrote. It's partly musical, partly just spoken, in the beautiful voice of Muhammad Wardi. What I think we should do is, we should make this available as a document, well studied, well explained, and so people who use the internet and want to reach the young people have a very, very solidly studied piece of work. Not just something that they hear and they don't really understand because maybe they're losing the language, but something where they can understand the language and hear the beauty of it. Now I have just worked on a couple of initial things from this, but I'm going to read it to you now. And just to tell you, to show you the beauty of this thing. And you probably know it. In fact, I'm entitling this